that the old grandfather himself doesn't know the reason why this war is fought. And he says, though thousands of men have died, but still it was called a great victory. Now, paragraph 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Paragraph 5. Now tell us what it was all about. Young Peterkin, he cries. And little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. Now tell us all about the war and what they fought each other for. So young Peterkin is very inquisitive about the reason why they fought with each other. But the old grandfather, he also doesn't have any reason so that he can satisfy his grandchildren. So, and what they fought each other for. So he also shows, the grandfather also shows his helplessness. Now there is one word, very nice word, inquisitive. Inquisitive. This is enquire. Enquire becomes inquisitive, means very curious, very desirous to know. So now Peter, old grandfather replies, "It was English," Casper said, old Casper, the grandfather, "who put the French to rout. Rout means defeated, destructed. So English vanquished the French, but he is helpless. He cannot answer the question which his grandchild put up. But what they fought each other for, still he doesn't know. He cannot answer that question. I could not well make out. Make out means he could not justify or give the reason why they fought with each other. But everybody said, quoth he, quoted. Quoth means quoted, quotation. That it was a famous victory. Again, famous victory, great victory. So once again he cannot satisfy, and he again says, though many people died, but it was a famous victory. Now this famous victory and great victory, this has been repeated. So when a line is repeated several times in a poem, the figure of speech is refrain. It is a sort of repetition of few lines in the poem several times. And you see there is alliteration in the 5th paragraph. Now tell us what it was all about. Now tell us what it was all about. So tell, T, and it, that is alliteration. Alliteration. You see, so my father lived at Blenheim. Yon little stream hard by. Yon means over there. So he is telling, the old Casper is telling about his father, about his own family. That over there, the little stream means there was a river, small river flowing. They burnt his dwelling. So the enemy troops, they burnt his houses, and his house was gutted to fire. There's a nice word. His house was gutted to fire. Gutted to fire means turned to ashes. Turned to ashes. Hmm. So they burnt his dwelling to the ground, and he was forced to fly. Fly means flee, to run away. You see, the word is flee, F-L-E-E, flee, fled, fled, past tense of flee, to run away. So, and he was forced, compelled to run away and evacuate the place. What it is called? Evacuate. E-V-A-C-U-A-T-E. Means leave it deserted. No one was there. He has to leave, abandon this place. He has to abandon this place. So, along with his wife and child, he fled. Nor had he where to rest his head. Now he had no place where he could find a shelter over his head. With fire and sword, next paragraph, the country round was wasted far and wide. Now fire and sword refers to the artilleries, the ammunitions, the arms and ammunitions by which vast destruction was resulted. Was wasted far and wide, means long stretches of land, the entire city was destructed. And many a childing mother who were pregnant, childing mother means who were pregnant, then and newborn babies, they also died. So it was a massacre, you can say, manslaughter. There are beautiful words. Massacre, M-A-S-S-A-C-R-E, massacre, manslaughter, S-L-A-U-G-H-T-E-R, manslaughter. There is another beautiful word, human carnage. Carnage means plenty of, quite a great number of people being killed. So, but things like that, must be at very famous victory. You see, still, on one hand, he says that there are lots of killing going on, and still he says that it is a famous victory. It is a famous victory. So a sarcastic remark, ironical remark. Figure of speech is once again irony or sarcasm. A very contrasting aspect. On one hand, the poet says that hundreds and thousands of people have died, and on the other hand, he proclaims to be victorious, that it is a must when there is a war. The human carnage or manslaughter or massacre is a must. Now, next paragraph. They say it was a shocking sight. People said, obviously it was shocking when thousands of men are lying in the field dead. After the field was won, the battle was won, because for many thousand bodies, many thousand, not one or two, lay rotting in the sun. Means they were crying for their burial, they were groaning for their burial. This is Shakespeare has said in Julius Caesar, many dead bodies, corpses, were groaning for their burial, lay rotting in the sun. But things like that, must be after a famous victory. So it happens in a famous victory, such things happen. So you can quote this line by Shakespeare, that corpses were groaning for their burial in Julius Caesar. He has written this in Julius Caesar. Great praise. Who was praised? The Duke of Marlborough. Duke was, you can say, an honor awarded by Queen of Elizabeth or whoever the king was in those times. So Duke, Prince, Earl, these were the honors conferred on upper level people. So who were the one? Duke of Marlborough and Prince Eugene. They both fought. Why? It was a very wicked thing. Wicked means evil, very bad. Said little Wilhelmine. She said it was not good fighting, war, killing of people. Nay, nay, my little girl. No, my little girl. It's nothing wicked. It was a famous victory. Again, repetition of the same line. He cannot deny from this fact that it's very silly, it's ironical to say that hundreds and thousands of people are lying dead in the battlefield, groaning for their burial, and still he is calling that a famous victory. Now the last, how the poet ends this poem, and everybody praised, and he became praiseworthy, Duke of Marlborough and Prince Eugene, who this great fight did win. Why he was praised? Because he fought this battle. But what good came of it last? But what was the outcome? What was the result? What was the aftermath? Aftermath, yesterday I gave you. Aftermath of the war. What was the outcome of war? What was the result of war? What ensued? Resulted. What inferred? All negative. Nothing inhuman. This was inhuman behavior. Inhuman. Against mankind. Against mankind. This was malevolent. It is called malevolent. Opposite of benevolent. This bad. So, and everybody praised the Duke, who this great fight did win. But what good came of it at last? Quoth little Peterkin. Again he quoted Peterkin. What was the benefit? This is the futility of war. Uselessness. Futility. Futile. You see the word futile. Futile. Futile becomes futility. Futility of war means uselessness. No use. Why people fight? Why, that I cannot tell, said he. The old grandfather, Mr. Casper, he cannot answer and convince his grandchild. But once again he says sarcastically, it is a message to the reader that it's a sarcasm expressed by the poet that there was a human carnage, a massacre, a manslaughter, but still he is proclaiming he is very happy to be victorious and quoted it was a famous victory. Thanks for this. And if you have understood and be benefited by this explanation, please press the logo of like button, share among your friends, and of course, in order to promote me to give further explanation and notes, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.